I'm embarrassed. Tinubu orders EFCC to vacate court order freezing Osun State Government accounts. Good day and welcome to Star J's Media. Please hit the subscribe button to subscribe for free. Like, share and comment for more news analysis. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has ordered the Economic and Financial Crime Commission (EFCC) to immediately take steps to vacate the court order that froze the bank accounts of the Osun State Government, describing the timing of the action as deeply embarrassing. The president made his position known in a statement issued from the State House on Thursday, stressing that while he respects the constitutional mandate of the EFCC to investigate allegations of financial crimes, he believed the decision to freeze the state account just days before Osun State governorship election could create unnecessary political tension and raise concerns about the fairness of the electoral process. According to the president, his objection is not to the EFCC carrying out its lawful responsibility, but to the timing of the court order. He emphasized that institutions of government must always exercise their powers in a manner that promotes public confidence, especially during sensitive political periods. The president therefore directed the anti-graft agency to immediately return to court to vacate the freezing order and allow the Osun State Government unrestricted access to its accounts while investigation continue through other lawful means. The controversy began after reports emerged that the EFCC has secured a court order freezing several accounts belonging to the Osun State Government. The order was linked to an ongoing investigation into management of billions of naira in ecological funds, Federal Account Allocation Committee allocations, and other intervention funds allegedly received by the state government, although the EFCC has the statutory responsibility of investigating financial crimes and recovering public funds where necessary. The timing of the action quickly attracted public attention because it came shortly before the governorship election in Osun State. Political observers warned that freezing the account of a state government at such a critical period could disrupt governance, delay salary payments, affect public services, and fuel political controversy. President Tinubu acknowledged these concerns in his statement. He said democracy thrives when government institutions perform their duties without creating the impression that official actions are being influenced by political considerations. He noted that even though the EFCC acted based on a valid court order, public perception also matters. According to him, Nigeria must have confidence that law enforcement agencies remain impartial and that no official action should cast doubt on the integrity of an electoral process. The president reiterated his commitment to the fight against corruption, describing it as one of the priorities of his administration. He, however, stressed that anti-corruption efforts must always be carried out with fairness, transparency, and sensitivity to the nation's democratic institutions. Legal analysts say the president's direction has generated fresh constitutional debate. Some experts argue that EFCC, as an independent investigative agency established by the law, should be allowed to perform its duties without interference. Others maintain that the president, as head of the executive, has the authority to provide policy decisions where national stability and democratic confidence are at stake. Constitutional lawyers also point out that because the freezing order was granted by a court, the proper legal process is for EFCC to approach the same court and apply for the order to be vacated, rather than simply ignoring the ruling. Political analysts believe the president's intervention may help reduce political tension ahead of the 2027 election. They argue that allowing the state government access to its fund ensures that governance continues uninterrupted while investigation proceeds through the judicial process. They argue that allowing the state government access to its funds ensures that governance continues uninterrupted while investigation proceeds through the judicial process. Supporters of the president's decision say it demonstrates a willingness to place democratic stability above political interest. They contend that no action by any government institution should create suspicion to diminish public trust in the electoral process. However, critics insist that corruption investigation should not be suspended or delayed because elections are approaching. They argue that accountability should remain constant regardless of the political calendar, and caution that future investigations should not be influenced by election timetables. The development has once again highlighted the delicate balance between enforcing anti-corruption laws and preserving democratic confidence. Across many democratic nations, governments often face similar challenges where law enforcement action coincide with elections. While anti-corruption agencies are expected to operate independently, they are also expected to exercise professional judgment to avoid action that could be interpreted as political interference. For residents of Osun State, the immediate concern is the continuation of government services. Access to government accounts is essential for paying workers' salary, funding hospitals, maintaining schools, executing developmental projects. If the accounts remain frozen for an extended period, the state financial operations could face significant disruption. This was one of the concerns raised by observers following the court order. The presidency maintains that the investigation into the alleged financial transactions should continue without interrupting the normal functioning of the state government. Attention has now shifted to EFCC, which is expected to comply with the presidential directive by returning to court to seek the vacation of the freezing order. Legal proceedings relating to investigation are also expected to continue as investigations work to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support any allegation involving the management of public funds. The coming days will be closely watched by Nigerians, political stakeholders, and civil society organizations interested in both the fight against corruption and the protection of democratic institutions. The incident serves as a reminder that transparency, accountability, and the rule of law must go hand in hand. While corruption must be investigated wherever it is found, public institutions must also ensure that their actions strengthen rather than weaken confidence in Nigeria's democracy. In the end, the resolution of this matter through the courts will not only determine the immediate future of the Osun State Government finances, but will also shape public perception of the relationship between anti-corruption enforcement and democratic governance. Thank you for watching. This is Star J's Media. Do not forget to like, subscribe for free, comment, share for more news analysis.